In this video, I'm going to be comparing the Oral-B IO to the Philips Sonicare DiamondClean 9000. I've used and reviewed both electric toothbrushes, and I'm going to let you know what the key differences are, as well as give you my opinion on which electric toothbrush you should buy. So before I get into the full details, I want you to know that there's a full written comparison that accompanies this video. Click the link in the description to see that. It'll go into even more detail than I do in this video. So which toothbrush do I think you should buy? Well, these are two premium electric toothbrushes, but I suggest you pick the Oral-B IO, even though the retail price tag is considerably higher than that of the Philips Sonicare DiamondClean 9000. I believe the IO is the pick because it offers the more rounded package. There are certain elements to the DiamondClean 9000 that make it feel a more refined product, but when you consider all the features and functions and the actual selling price of the IO, it's a better value and all-round performing electric toothbrush. So that's the reason the IO becomes my recommendation between these two brushes. So what are the key differences between these two electric toothbrushes? Well, let me explain. There are quite a few subtle differences. So the first thing to be aware of is they look different. Okay, the overall design is similar. You can't make a toothbrush look too much different, but there are subtle differences between the way the handles look. Notably, both have a power and mode cleaning button, but standing out for the IO is the built-in OLED display, which displays the cleaning modes and other key information on that screen, whereas the DiamondClean 9000 doesn't have that. It has just cleaning modes and battery information that is backlit on the handle of the toothbrush itself. So the OLED display on the IO does provide useful information, allowing you to select the different cleaning modes. It allows you to change the lights on the light ring that the IO has. It also allows you to enable and disable Bluetooth and a few more other things. It's not all-encompassing, but probably one of the biggest ways it differentiates itself is at the end of a cleaning cycle, it gives you feedback not only on the battery status via a percentage icon and a battery graphic, but it also gives you feedback on your brushing via a sad, smiley, or somewhat bemused face, or maybe even a starry-eyed face, depending on how long and how well you've been brushing. So another difference, and probably one of the more significant differences, is the way in which these two brushes work. The Sonicare DiamondClean 9000 is what's known as a sonic toothbrush, whereas the Oral-B IO is an oscillating, rotating brush. Fundamentally, they do the same job and both clean the teeth very well indeed. However, with a sonic toothbrush, the bristles are moving in a back and forth motion, sort of in a straight line, sweeping action like you might a manual brush, whereas the Oral-B has an oscillating, rotating action. So it is moving back and forth, but it's doing so in a circular motion. And that is linked then to the brush heads that these toothbrushes come with. The IO has a small round brush head compared to the slightly larger and more oval shaped brush head that you find on the DiamondClean. Now, the DiamondClean has some quite innovative technology built into, something called brush sync technology, and that works via an RFID chip that is built into the brush head. And essentially what it does is it tracks how long you've been using that brush head for. And after a period of time, usually about 3 months, based on how long you brush for, how frequently you brush, and the pressure you use, a light on the handle will be illuminated, warning you that it is time to replace that brush head. Now that's a feature that the IO does not have. Now you can track the brush head for the IO in their smartphone application, but it doesn't give you that warning actually on the brush handle. Now on the IO there is what they call an LED light ring. This is around the top of the handle just below where the brush head connects to. This is defaulted to a white colour, but you can customise it one of a range of colours via the brush handle itself or via the smartphone application. Now this provides a bit of a nice touch to the handle, but it also doubles up because this LED light ring is also the pressure sensor as well. Now typically with a pressure sensor it will illuminate red when you brush too hard, and that applies here with the Oral-B IO. However, the pressure sensor is a little bit smarter in the IO in the fact that it also lights up green. Now, green light from the light ring indicates that you're brushing with the right amount of pressure, whereas the red light indicates that you're brushing with too much pressure. So that is a useful technology to have built in, and that LED ring allows the light to be displayed. The Sonicare DiamondClean 9000 does have a pressure sensor built in, but it's not a visible pressure sensor. It will only alert you when you're brushing too hard, and it does this via vibrations in the brush handle. Those vibrations act as your alert that you're brushing too hard, rather than the red coming from the LED light ring. Interestingly, the I/O does not vibrate the handle. You only get a warning via the light ring if you're brushing too hard. So the I/O comes in 3 different colours for the brush handle. You have onyx black, white alabaster and rose quartz, compared to the DiamondClean 9000 that comes in black or pink. The I/O has a total of 7 different cleaning modes compared to the 4 cleaning modes of the DiamondClean 9000. Now, there is some similarity in those 7 cleaning modes on the I/O, and it's not a make or break deal here in your decision. Some of the modes available on the DiamondClean do a similar job to that of the I/O, but there is a difference between the two. Just don't get too worried about that difference. Now, something the DiamondClean 9000 has is 3 different brushing intensities: low, medium and high, and you can change this intensity on any of the 4 cleaning modes. So essentially you've got 12 different configurations for brushing with the DiamondClean 9000, whereas on the I/O the cleaning modes are set to those 7 and you have no control over the intensity. Another feature built into the DiamondClean 9000 is mode pairing. Now, based on the brush head attached, the handle will select the most appropriate mode, and this is based on the RFID chip that I've mentioned previously. So if you attach a Gum Health brush head, that will change to the Gum Health cleaning mode. So you get the idea, it pairs the brush head to the most appropriate cleaning mode. Now, both of these toothbrushes have a battery life of 2+ weeks, but in my hands-on testing, the Oral-B I/O outperformed the Sonicare DiamondClean 9000. In actual fact, I got a couple of weeks more from the I/O than I did the 9000. So both are very good, but in actual real-world testing, the I/O outperformed the Sonicare. And a little point to note about that is that the I/O does give a little bit more feedback via the OLED display on the battery status information. There is a battery indicator on the handle of the DiamondClean, but it only flashes when it gets to about 10%. If you use the Sonicare's app, you get a little bit more insight. Neither brush provide comprehensive exact percentages of the battery life remaining, but the I/O is a little bit better in terms of its feedback. Both brushes have premium travel cases that allow you to charge the toothbrush whilst inside the case. However, the DiamondClean case has a USB cable hardwired into it, so you can charge via a USB port. With the I/O, you have to use a separate proprietary power adapter to actually charge the brush when inside. That makes the case of the Sonicare much more convenient. It's also a bit better quality. It's got a more premium feel to it thanks to the soft touch materials on the lid, and it also holds 2 brush heads compared to the 1 brush head with the Oral-B case. Now, both toothbrushes obviously come with a charger included in the box. Both charge the brushes wirelessly. There's no need to physically connect a cable to the brushes. The stands do essentially the same job, but the Oral-B charging stand is a new type of stand for Oral-B. It's a magnetic charging stand, so the brush stands upright and can charge in just 3 hours. Compare this to the Sonicare charging stand, where the brush does stand upright, but it takes around about 12 or even up to 24 hours to charge the brush fully, and it's made up of 2 parts on their charging stand. You get the charging base and then a clear plastic piece that sits on top. It probably looks on first glance as the more premium option, but it's actually the Oral-B charging stand that is better overall. Now, with the I/O, it uses artificial intelligence to track the way that you clean your teeth. Both of these toothbrushes are smart and send data back to a free smartphone application. Now, the key difference here is that the I/O is really centered around real-time brushing feedback. The idea is you use the app and the toothbrush at the same time. Now, you can do that to some extent with the Sonicare. However, it's better placed to send the data post-brushing rather than during the brushing session. With the I/O, you get a 3D tracking feature to the app, so you can see precisely where the toothbrush is, what teeth you've cleaned, and how well you've cleaned them. You don't get that with the DiamondClean. Essentially, the I/O allows you to react quicker to poor brushing technique than the Sonicare does. So linked to this is the built-in timer and pacer that exists within both toothbrushes. On the Sonicare, they have a 20-second pacer compared to the 30-second pacer of the Oral-B I/O. So with the I/O, you have 4 quadrants to the mouth, each 30 seconds to get you to the dentist's recommended 2 minutes, whereas the Sonicare, you brush 6 sections of the mouth for 20 seconds to get to that same 2 minutes. It's the same principle, just slightly different timings. A small feature with the DiamondClean 9000 is the brush will automatically turn itself off at the end of the cleaning cycle, whereas the I/O continues to run until you turn it off. The I/O does come with a brush head storage compartment. It will hold up to 2 brush heads. You don't get that with the DiamondClean 9000. Both brushes come with a 2-year warranty as standard, but typically you can extend the warranty of the Oral-B for a further year, so 3 years in total by registering it online. And lastly, the retail price of these 2 units is slightly different. The retail price of the I/O 9 series is a staggering £500 compared to the £340 of the Sonicare DiamondClean. Now, don't ever pay the price for these 2 brushes. More often than not, the price will be discounted by up to about 50%. Typically, the discount is a little bit greater on Oral-B brushes than it is Sonicare. So what we will generally find is that the I/O will come in at around about £250 compared to approximately the £200 of the Sonicare. Obviously, that's much better pricing in comparison to their retail prices. They're still premium brushes. But if I had to pick one, I would still go for the I/O, even though it will generally command a price premium because of the features it offers. So I hope you found this video useful. Be sure to give it a thumbs up. For more videos like this, click subscribe. But until next time, thanks for watching.